I went on a ski trip this weekend. It's my first time trying the activity, and I'm with a few friends who are either at or below a beginner level. So it's a perfect microcosm to see the most common responses people tend to have to new and unfamiliar situations contrasted against one another. One of my friends has only done this a time or two, but has made up her mind that this is an activity she wants to get good at. This is a fiercely capable person, and she could absolutely do it if she puts her mind to it. The lesson is underway, and our teacher has taken our group through the absolute bare bones rudiments of skiing. How to glide, how to turn, most importantly, and frustratingly, how to stop. Now, this friend that I was mentioning is encountering difficulty with the content of the lesson. The turns aren't going the way she thinks they should, and stopping seems to be harder than she thinks it ought to be. The activity has really captivated her interest, and she wants to be good at it, so she stands at the top of the slope, waiting for the instructor to work his way through the rest of the group so she can ask him some questions. Meanwhile, another member of the group, with even less experience and qualification for this activity, is just making runs up and down the hill, trying out the lesson contents and testing in real time what the parameters of the movements are. How far to the left is too far to lean? How fast is too fast to go? By the time my friend got with the instructor to ask some questions, this other member of our group has already made a bunch of trips, trials, and errors up and down that hill. My friend left shortly after due to fatigue, having spent a ton of energy worrying about skiing perfectly and comparatively little accumulating actual time spent speeding downhill. Now, this is not to criticize my friend. I know we've all been there, throwing in the towel after spending so much energy on this thing with less to show for it than we feel we ought to have. But here's my question. How much of that effort was internal, and how much of it was external? Seneca says we often suffer more in imagination than in reality. We can often feel like we're working so hard and things just aren't going our way. But if we step back, we see much of this effort is in our head, directed towards producing thoughts of not being good enough, feature-length montages of our many past failings, and a constant physical tension that drains the body and zaps the will. All of this worry and concern and feeling of inadequacy is effort without direction that's as fruitless as squeezing all of our muscles as hard as we can while staring at a barbell, willing it to move without ever actually touching it, then giving up when we're exhausted, walking away and beating ourselves up for not being strong enough. If you're at the beginner level, then it's likely that anything that puts off action, no matter how productive or justified it feels, is some version of this fruitless exercise. The incessant and complicated planning, self-abusing narratives, and emotional turmoil, it's all just noise that threatens to drown out the call to action. You don't need to be perfect. You don't even have to be decent. You don't need a plan or a better idea. All you have to do is move. Thanks for watching.